Have you ever wondered how the world will end? Not through the sudden madness of an enemy or a massive terrorist attack. Most of the time, what collapses a system is its own bureaucrats doing their jobs too perfectly. This is the Prince's Ledger. Today, we travel back to 1983, to that freezing week when NATO accidentally pushed humanity to the brink of nuclear apocalypse simply because of a game played on paper. The greatest irony in history is this. Sometimes, the simulation you build to deter your enemy becomes the only real reason they need to attack you. Welcome to history's most lethal bureaucratic joke, the Able Archer 83 exercise. The year is 1983. Cold War paranoia is at its absolute peak. NATO commanders initiate their annual routine exercise to test a potential nuclear war scenario against the Soviet Union. But this time, the staff officers in their offices want to make the game a bit more interesting. To make the simulation as realistic as possible, they implement protocols they have never used before. They use new, unbreakable radio codes, suddenly enforce absolute radio silence across military bases, and, for the sake of the simulation, even bring the US president into the loop, raising the nuclear alert level to DEFCON 1, maximum combat readiness. For the commanders at NATO headquarters, this is merely a highly successful and flawlessly executed military test. They sip their coffee and proudly move pawns across a map. However, the bureaucrats in Brussels forgot one lethal detail: the psychology of the enemy. On the other side of the border, in Moscow, KGB agents and the Soviet leadership are watching this unfold. And what they see is not an exercise. According to Soviet military doctrine, if America were ever to launch a nuclear first strike, they would absolutely disguise it under the cover of a training exercise, new encryption, radio silence, and the president's involvement. For the Soviets, these data points are not a test. They are undeniable proof of an unfolding apocalypse. Within minutes, red lights flash across Soviet nuclear bases. Nuclear warheads are pulled from storage and loaded onto bombers. The launch silos of intercontinental ballistic missiles slowly slide open. While NATO officers are playing war on paper, the Soviets, with their fingers firmly on the trigger, are preparing to end the world. Right at the breaking point of this tension, the exercise schedule concludes, and the game ends. NATO commanders terminate the simulation and go home. The Soviets take a deep breath and stand down their missiles. The most terrifying part of it all is this. The Americans didn't realize how close they came to destroying the Earth over a mere drill that day. They only learned the truth months later, when a double agent from British intelligence whispered it to them. Able Archer 83 exposes the ultimate vulnerability of systems. When you only stare at your own screen and fail to read your opponent's mind, your most flawless plan will lead you to your own destruction. To continue examining the blindness of power and the fatal errors of bureaucracy, follow the Prince's Ledger, because the data in the ledger never lies.